And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land. We are a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of Fans First Sports Network. I'm Ethan Greenberg, and my special co-host, once again, the one and only Meghan Donovan. Meghan, how are you this evening?
Doing good.
I mean, the great thing is we're going to be talking about a Browns win.
I know. How about that?
It was something that you and I don't think we could have predicted that or expected that when we talked last week right here. That was crazy. I guess that's the best way I can put it is that was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that's that is something for sure that I just didn't expect here. So anyway, Browns 1-2 win over the Packers. I guess to start off here, what was the most surprising thing for you in the result for the Browns? Was it the way it happened? Was it any particular player? Like, I don't know. What were your takeaways?
I mean, it's definitely a weird game. I think, like, majority of the game you went into it and you're like, holy heck, like, we aren't scoring. We're not going to get a score at all. I mean, I think at one point we were down at the 1, got a holding penalty, and then another penalty. So then we were out at the 20-yard line, which set up a field goal. And just anything that could have gone wrong offensively was going wrong. So at that point, I think you're more just like, all right, it is what it is. I think it's just more shocking in terms of the different things that had to happened in the sequence that they did. So
yeah, and that kind of stuff never goes in the Browns' favor. That's usually the type of crap that happens against the Browns. To the team the Browns are playing, they keep screwing things up and blow it at the end. And I mean, the fact that they finally they get the interception by Delpit, they score the touchdown by Judkins, and then they allow Detroit to get all the way downfield and in position for a field goal, only to have a savior in Shelby Harris and a fingertip of Denzel Ward to block the kick and then ultimately to set up the game-winning field goal attempt. Andre Schmidt, did he redeem himself? He went from the GOAT of week 1 to the hero of week number 3. Do you think that after that bad first game, he's bounced back and that's what we should expect from him the rest of the season, or is the jury still out on that?
No, I think you can expect that. I think he showed it in the last game that he made all of his kicks at the Baltimore game. I mean, so I think it was just a fluke thing. I mean, it happens, and clearly he's bounced back. I mean, clearly he's got a leg on him too. So I don't know. I think you just keep putting together good games where you're making kicks, and it'll kind of settle in. I mean,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, you got to get into a rhythm, and you see these kickers, they will go into cycles where they're doing great and then they fall off. And it seems like when they fall off the cliff. It's not just a small little, I fell down a step. They fall straight off the cliff like they're Wile E. Coyote. So I don't know. That was a fantastic way to end the game. I don't know. I feel like at 1-2, we're kind of where we probably, if you would have just looked at the schedule, do you think 1-2 was what you might have predicted? Not knowing who the win was again, just.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was thinking you'd beat the Bengals.
Right.
And then it was going to be downhill from here. So the Browns are good for a game that they're not supposed to win. So, I mean, they took that game and they took it and they won it. But I'm not. I mean, I hate to say it. I have zero expectations of moving forward. I thought, to be honest, I mean, I hate to be negative about a win, but I thought they played terrible. Other than the defense,
they did.
And special teams and anything like that. I mean, the offense was worse than the game, the prior game. So I just,
Well,
it's hard to enjoy when you know going into next week you're going, all right, well, like our offense can't do anything, so how are we? And you can't rely on your defense constantly to bail you out. I mean, I know, but like, I mean, it took a turnover and them to run it back to the 10 for the offense just to score. And, we're not, I think it was the third quarter until the Browns reached the red zone.
oh, it was horrific. That offensive performance, they set football back by a century. Once again, the way they were playing. And I think there's a lot that you could look at to probably point at as to why the offense is so pathetic through 3 weeks here. It's bad. The numbers are not good. For those who didn't see the box score or don't know, Joe Flacco, 21 of 36, 142 yards, no touchdowns, one interception, and the one interception was on a heave at the end of the first half. And quite frankly, Green Bay did us a favor by intercepting that. They should have let that fall. That was a 4th down play, and they would have been at about midfield. I think they might have had a timeout left in the pocket, and they could have made that into field goal range right there. Green Bay made some mistakes. That play, and at the end of the third quarter, when Jordan Love, he could have let the time wind out, and he snapped it just before the clock struck 0 to end the third quarter, and he got laid out by Carson Schlesinger. So Green Bay, they did themselves no favors there. Flacco, he was sacked twice, loses 17 yards in sack yardage there. But he looked bad. He looked immobile. The offensive line, you lose DeJuan Jones.
Yeah, that's rough. And and then you got Conklin not going again, and it's just the same story. It's the same thing seems like every season. I mean,
it is to not have that happen is the exception, not the rule. And I think that's what they need, what they want to do in Cleveland. When they talk about changing the culture, right? Where you become the team that's consistent every year and you expect to win, as opposed to feeling, oh, hey, we won a game. Oh, whoa, that's fortunate here. Yeah, the offense looked bad. Jerry Jeudy last year. Now, I heard stats that say he started off slow last year, but also let's talk about or think about who was the quarterback to begin last year and how bad the offense was. And he really didn't pick up until Jameis Winston came in.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had one catch for 17 yards. Flacco doesn't, I think because of the offensive line in part, and his lack of mobility is not making the downfield throws. The guys aren't getting open. It's really bad. Isaiah Bond, 2 catches, 16 yards. Jerome Ford has been reduced to a 3rd down pass catching back right now. He had 0 rushing attempts. They have moved him to 3rd down back behind, or 3rd back, I should say, behind. Behind Sampson and Judkins. And so my brain is losing track of things here. Shoot. So Ced Tillman, 3 catches, 26 yards. Harold Fannin, 3 catches. 3 catches for 26 yards. Njoku, 5 catches for 40 yards. Yeah, I don't know. This was a tough go, but the bright spot was definitely Quinshon Judkins. 18 carries, 94 yards, the lone touchdown of the game, a 38-yard rush. And actually, the only other player to record a rushing attempt was Dylan Sampson. 1 carry, 2 yards. I think that was the Metcalf up the middle play.
Okay, yeah.
That did that look familiar? It's like some guy who's undersized and they're trying to run him up the middle.
Yeah.
Not exactly good there. But what did you think about the defense? I mean, clearly that was the bright spot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every week the defense is just getting better and better. I think that defensive front is incredible. I think you got other guys just making huge plays now that you're not just consistently like waiting for Miles to do something. I mean, you got a whole other side of the line that is destructive and it's clearly showing. So, I mean, that's great. I think the secondary played phenomenal. I think guys like Newsome are still playing really, really well. I mean, I think he had a pass interference call on him. The other
I
day, I
Now, it
think.
wasn't Newsom on the last drive. I think that might have been Miles Harden, if I
Okay,
remember.
yeah.
But I think regardless, I think that overall, I mean, the defense was phenomenal. They are in terms of the amount of yards per game allowed, their number one defense. They are really shutting teams down. I know that obviously week 2 against the Ravens, you're seeing them with a lot of points on the scoreboard in the final score there. But certainly they were put in some precarious situations, some giveaways, a pick six or whatever. What was it? A fumble recovery, a scoop and score for a touchdown. That was really wasn't indicative of how well they played. They just can't get tired out there. Delpit certainly has backed up his talk. He was
Yeah.
talking before the Baltimore game, and this is fantastic. I got to say, for the Browns fans and the organization, they got to be really happy to see what Delpit is up to and what he's been able to kind of accomplish so far this season. It's kind of nice. They needed this out of him.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's definitely good to see. I think it's also good, to back up your talk. Like, there's nothing worse than having a big mouth and just completely getting shut down by the other team. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
that's happened in the past. So,
It has happened, and I think that there's a lot of teams or players, they talk trash on the Browns, and most of the time the Browns is the Browns. As we bring up the Juju Smith-Schuster quote, the Browns is the Browns. And then there was I believe it was Jamar Chase last year before week 1 or before one of the games, and they asked him something about the Browns. He's like, and he paused, and it was like, man, that's not good. So everybody kind of craps on the Browns here. Myles Garrett, only had a half sack, but he was disruptive.
yeah.
He was very disruptive. Did you see the clip? He was mic'd up, and he goes over on the sideline, and he's talking about and saying how on the one play he gets through clean, and he's like, and that guy's like, run, Jordan, run. Did you?
Mhm.
I mean, it was certainly a little bit comical, and you obviously can laugh when the team wins there. So I think the offense overall is horrific, but Judkins showed some life. And he did that after missing training camp and missing week 1 with all the legal troubles, and finally getting in there with the contract. The line is just beaten and battered. Do we need to bring Blake Hansen like we did before the wild card game?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I mean, I don't know why our line can never stay healthy. It's so bad. And it's the same guys. I mean, it's, I
Well,
don't,
it's the tackles. It's the tackles. We have had pretty healthy
yeah.
interior linemen.
What really kind of takes me off is that play against um
Jones.
Jones, but then they call a clipping penalty on Teller, or what, I think it was Teller. It was a chop block right at the goal line, and I'm going, where were you in the first quarter when you literally took out our left tackle with a chop block?
Exactly. And I know Kevin says, well, we'll send that into the league. And I guess that's all you can do. That's really all you can do. It just sucks when there is the inconsistency.
I mean, it was like the Minka Fitzpatrick hit on Chubb.
Exactly. I'm not going to forgive that guy for that.
Right.
He wrecked Nick Chubb. And I don't care what they say. And I know that like no one's coming out and saying, oh, it was a dirty play, but that was BS. That's just BS. He didn't need to go at his knee. Dude was wrapped. Yeah, that really that stinks for sure. But they've got some positives. I think there's some positives. One of the things that was really good, that last possession when the Browns, with the clock running, to be able to make the play. Njoku having the wherewithal.
That was clutch.
It was.
And honestly, like, kudos to like the line too, because I mean, all you need is someone that isn't even like our receivers who aren't on the ball. Like you know,
right.
A lot of people think that you just have to be on the line, and that's very like incorrect. Like you need a specific number of guys on the ball, and then you have to have certain receivers a step off of the line so that you're not in an illegal formation.
Exactly.
So when you're doing that after you run a play and getting to that and making sure you're off the ball, like I think Joe like even looked. I think he went like this to I don't know who it was. It might have been Tillman, but I was like, oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what. Another thing that the veteran presence of Joe Flacco, how many times? I mean, you could hear him audibly yelling at a receiver, stop. You know, like he's having to tell people before they snap the ball to make sure they don't get a penalty for, illegal formation or 2 minute, 2 men in motion at the same time and so on and so forth. That's veteran leadership right there. And that shows that you got some young guys on this team and they've got some learning to do. But again, that wherewithal to end the game for Njoku to get down. He knew he had the first down, get down. They had the ball there. Post it, gets up to the line. They all get set. The ref touches the ball because they were placed it where it needed to go and set it up and gave Andre Schmidt the chance to win it. Did you happen to see that there's some clown that was posting and complaining about the noise at the stadium from the people that bang on the metal in like the second deck?
No, I didn't
You
see
see
that.
that? I'm like, oh, come on, cry me a river. I mean, what are they going to ban? Like, what was it at Mile High Stadium, the old Mile High Stadium, the people stomping on the metal bleachers?
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. Quit being salty. Your team's 2-1. They blew a game they shouldn't have lost. These things happen. I really have no sympathy for you. I really don't. Okay, so talked about some of the standouts on defense, some of the good things on offense. What about some of the we talked about the bad things. The offense is horrific. And Flacco is supposed to start in Detroit. He looks slow in terms of mobility. He's missing wide open receivers. There was a play on the flea flicker.
Yeah, he missed
Isaiah Bond.
Isaiah Bond was wide open in the middle. But I mean, he still got a completion. I don't know if that was his only route. He completed it.
He did. He completed the short screen, but it's like that doesn't seem like the same Flacco. And I wonder if that's because he doesn't trust the line. That's kind of my feeling, is that he doesn't fully trust the line, and I don't blame him. But they're going to have to do something, because it's not going to work. We can't be scoring approximately 15 points a game and expect to win. The defense is going to get tired. And we'll get to this in a little bit when we talk about the next, our game coming up this weekend in Detroit. I think the rushing attack is absolutely crucial to the success of this team against Detroit and going forward. They've got to establish the run, and I like what Judkins is doing, so they're going to need to do that. Hopefully the offensive line can at least do their part in run blocking. Were you ready to see a switch to Dylan Gabriel at any point in that game on Sunday?
Yeah, I think when it was like the fourth quarter and you were down with 10-0, I mean, at that point it's like, this isn't working what you're doing. So what,
Yeah, it seems
what do you have to lose? I mean, and then it's just, there's no production. It's not even like, oh, he had a good drive here. If you can't even get to the red zone, like, I don't know what we're accomplishing? Like, what are we trying? Like there's no like substantial. It's not like, oh, you get down there and it's like, okay,
Right.
you don't get it, which I get it. It happens every week, but like if you can't even get to the 20, I mean,
No, it was putrid. It certainly was and this just popped into my head. This was one of those games that, like you said, the Browns managed to win that they should have no business winning. But it's the type of game that Kevin Stefanski can pull out of his butt when everything is going wrong, or you have to remember the one game that DTR won. He beat the Steelers,
mm-hmm.
and he was terrible. They had scored a touchdown at some point, and then he did nothing the rest of the game until the last drive. They got him to do just enough to get into position to kick a game-winning field goal that game. And the game against the 49ers, where PJ Walker literally tried to give the game away, and they were fortunate enough that Jake Moody missed a field goal. But it's those types of games when you have no business winning. And Stefanski is just like, I don't even know what he's doing over there. It's not, what are you going to do when the guy won't throw the ball to wide open receivers and the offensive line isn't blocking? I'm not sure what else you can really do. So that, again, that just popped into my head of one of those games where nothing is working, yet you somehow pulled it out. I was actually having the debate with my son, Jacob, and I was calling for Dylan Gabriel at halftime. I'm like, what are we doing here? And that discussion, the age-old discussion of, is it better to play the rookie again, even against these tougher opponents and potentially have him get crushed out there? Or is it better to let the veteran go out there? And I don't know, where do you fall on that line of thinking?
I mean, I don't like to change, I don't like to become a quarterback battle mid-season.
Right.
But like if your quarterback is getting hit like a lot and things aren't, then I would be like, all right, like, and you need him for the rest of the season, then I would say like, all right, let's take him out. Like, I know, but I don't want to, I'm not like, I don't like the idea of constantly taking someone out and then it causing a quarterback battle, because that's just causing inconsistency. And if you take Flacco out so soon, like if you want to take him out at halftime, that's what that's going to lead to. And you're
Right.
you're gonna really like mess everything else up, because then you're gonna be like like the Giants now, where it's week to week, and it's like, oh, are you starting Russell Wilson or are you starting Jackson Dart? And it's just a carousel of just,
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
agree. I agree.
So,
We've
either it's a hard thing. Like, I mean, if he's getting hit left and right, then you got to protect your quarterback, because you need him to play the rest of the season. You're
yeah,
not taking him out because he's playing like crap.
right. I think that it's going to come to a point. We've discussed this. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. They're going to pull the plug at some point here on Flacco, barring a miracle. And certainly winning the game buys him some more time. I think there were other situations or have been situations with a rookie quarterback where you're putting him into and setting him up to fail because the offensive line is horrific. Here, obviously the tackles are not great, but Dylan Gabriel does get the ball out quickly. He does have some mobility. I could see that as being a positive. As I sit here and letting cooler heads prevail, it's probably good to keep trying as long as you can to go with Joe Flacco before making that switch. But when you make that switch, you need to be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't.
Well, then like that switch would have to be the remainder of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't like go back and be like, all right, well, like you just can't, like.
No, and it's one of those deals where if you
and you kept Joe Flacco, like you didn't, like you kept him and not Pickett. So, like clearly that was your guy. I mean, I know Pickett was hurt, but like at the end of the day, they wanted Pickett. They wouldn't have picked him up in April or whenever. I think it was
Exactly.
April.
Yeah, exactly. No,
So
they had him first. He was the quarterback room at one point. We're like, who else is in there? No, it's just mind-boggling. And I think there are other teams that are handling this worse. To be quite, hey, we're not handling it the worst of the other teams that have terrible quarterback situations. It's not a good look right now that this offense can't seem to get any traction. And I would say that, again, we're talking about things that are not going right or were bad in the game. So we talk about Flacco. We talked about DeJuan Jones being out for the season again. Conklin remains injured, and it's day to day. Day to day, I'm going to give you day to day in a minute. I'm not a fan of the day to day thing. That's kind of worn out on me. I think if there were a number of quotes or phrases that were used, I think day to day from Stefanski, working their tails off. Those are two. I think those are two of my top least favorite lines that they use. And the OL, the offensive line depth. I guess they're going to put out, I suppose. Well, and they'd moved Jones back over to right tackle on that particular play. So we've got Cornelius Lucas, and then we've got KT Leviston, and I will say KT's wife. She's big on TikTok. If you don't follow her, she's really getting herself acquainted with the Cleveland area, getting lots of cool gear, unboxing. I think we need to do some unboxing here, right? What do you think, Meghan? We should start getting some sponsors, do some unboxing.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, man. I mean, it was pretty cool stuff. She got a whole package from Dude Wipes. And thank you, Angel, for tuning in. Thank you, Mike, as well. Let's see, the guy they picked up may be better. I'm done with Yeah. Well, don't worry. You don't have to worry about Jones at the start of the rest of the year. But they had a whole box of Dude Wipes. And KT Leviston and his girlfriend, his wife, they have a little boy. And they get this whole package, and it's little Dude Wipes, which I think is hilarious. But they also got some scented wipes. And the title or name of them is Dumpkin Spice.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. That's quite kind of creative. It's like, I got to say, at least it's a good play on words. Bad pun here. Oh, Mike's giving up. See, Meghan, I told you this is our therapy to step away from the Guardians tonight. As Mike said, the Tribe are annoying me. So here, well, thank you, Mike. I'm glad we're your pity date, right? So the special teams. On the positive side, block kick and the game-winning field goal. But I texted you on the opening kickoff. They returned it out of the end zone. Instead of getting it at the 35, they end up with it at the 25.
Yeah.
I mean, are they not being coached properly? Are they not? What in the world is going on there?
I couldn't tell you.
Yes, you do need Dude Wipes after the crap they put us through. That I think that's why they partner with the Browns. I mean, did you see the commercial? Sorry to go off topic here, but did you see the one picture photo? It's like David Njoku coming out of the Dude Wipes thing, and they're like, "Oh, we need a good, clean tight end or something like that." I'm like, "Oh boy, the puns." I mean, it's perfect for me. I'm a big pun guy here, and as Angel said, good marketing. So. I'm like, what are you guys doing out there? I don't know if that was DeAndre Carter back there for the opening kickoff, or I think maybe Davis might have been the other person who returned it in the game. And I was ready to throw something at the TV at that very moment because I'm so pissed with the special teams units.
I feel you. I mean, it's frustrating. I think, you're just hoping that something clicks, and it's now we're at.
Ledley King was in it. Okay. All right, now wait a second, Mike. You're gonna have to post a follow up to that. I believe Ledley King is a Tottenham Hotspur player, and he'll have to confirm that for me. So confirm that for me, Mike. Isaiah McGuire, he got burnt multiple times on like an RPO and chased after the running back, crashed down, and Jordan Love runs wide ass open to the near sideline and has plenty of yards and of room ahead of him. Like you gonna figure that out, buddy. How many times is it gonna take before you learn that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was right. Yes. Ledley King, former captain of Tottenham Hotspur, where the Browns will be playing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, not this week, but next week. At least we can get our misery over with early that week, right? Playing in London.
Right. Yeah. It's like a 9:30 game or something, isn't it?
Yeah. That is not a bad deal. I'll tell you what, a lot of people in California, they really appreciate the fact that you get up on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning for that matter. It's 9:00 and football's on, and it's on all day, and then it's done, and you're ready to roll by you're done by 7:00 in the evening, maybe 8:00. You got the whole night ahead of you. Nice. So it's all good there. Okay, not if we right. Exactly. The defense, though, we talked about it. They held the Packers to 81 rushing yards. 149 passing yards. As I mentioned, 204.3 yards per game, first in the NFL. But the team is 30th out of 32 in points per game, averaging just 15.3. So I don't know. I mean, what were do you have any final thoughts to put the Packers game, in the books here?
Honestly, I mean, like, again, like, it's great that they won, but I hate to say it, like, it's kind of a disappointing win because of just they were awful. I mean, when I say they, I mean the offense. Obviously, the defense is the number one defense in the NFL, and I don't see it getting any worse during the season. But I mean, it's getting, it's frustrating, and it's hard to watch. I mean, you're going on 3 and outs, and I don't. It's just it's hard. I don't like every. I'm glad people are hyped, but like we're hyped for a defensive like score almost. I mean, I know they didn't return it, but like
you're exactly right. No, you are exactly right, and I echo those thoughts. It's good to get a win. We're not going to go winless this season, so that's a positive. But we have just on the offensive side of the ball, we have just as many questions as we do answers. I don't know if you can do this, Mike. That's a funny thing. Let's win 17-14 every week. I mean, we've seen it in the past, and very few times in the history of NFL football have we seen a team have such a dominant defense that they could have a mediocre or worse offense. And the only times I can really remember that are the Ravens with Trent Dilfer and the Buccaneers with Brad Johnson. And to an extent, I mean, the Bears defense of 85 was phenomenal. But I think they were functioning on offense with Jim McMahon and putting Refrigerator Perry in there to bulldoze over the goal line. But yeah, it's a tough win. It's not great. It's definitely not great. So let's close the books here on the Week 3 victory for the Browns over the Green Bay Packers, and let's take a brief moment here for a word from our sponsors. You are tuned in to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you to our sponsors. You're tuned in to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land, a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of Fans First Sports Network. I'm Ethan Greenberg, and alongside of me is, once again, my special guest co-host, Meghan Donovan. So, Meghan, coming up next for the Browns, it is the Detroit Lions. in Detroit. And Detroit, they're going to come in at 2-1, and they had a very, very good game against the Baltimore Ravens. They look,
Yeah.
they look.
They looked really, really good. They, again, another defense that stopped the Ravens and Derrick Henry. I mean, they wreaked havoc on him.
They did. They absolutely did. I mean, like, so does it say more about the Lions or more about the Ravens in what's happened? I mean, now.
No, I think you have to give credit to Detroit. I think their defense is really good, and they have Hutchinson back this
Yeah.
season, and he's a really good player. He's another guy, and their offense is just as good. I mean, if golf's getting hot, and I mean it's hard. So
It is. It is absolutely hard. But let me give you a little bit of maybe hope. Okay. I don't know if you looked at this or not, but I started to look at it because I'm like, what chance do the Browns have here? Now, first of all, if Goff holds on to the ball for as long as he did, though, our defensive line could be a big problem. Baltimore's defense is not the same defense that we've always thought about or thought of or known in Baltimore. Now, for the season, he's got 7 touchdowns, 1 pick, 77.9% completion. However, they played Green Bay in week 1, and they did not look that good. They got smacked in the mouth right away. I don't know that we can do what Green Bay did because Green Bay came out, if you recall that game, and they started throwing deep shots right out of the gate, and they jumped on Detroit. They won, and Green Bay at home won 27-13. I looked at the box score at that, Meghan, and the rushing attack for Detroit that game, they only had 46 yards against the Packers. Montgomery had 25 yards on 11 carries. Jahmyr Gibbs, 19 yards on 9 carries. I think the Browns have a better rush defense than the Packers, right?
yeah.
I mean, I believe that that's pretty accurate. So I feel positive about that. I know that was only week 1 at that time, and teams are getting better and so on and so forth. But I feel okay about that. Goff had a good game completion percentage wise. He was 31 of 39, 225 yards. That's only 5.8 yards a completion. 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and was sacked 4 times. 4 times by the Packers. So he gets sacked 4 times by the Packers. Joe Flacco only got sacked twice by the Packers.
Yeah, but you're also comparing like week 1 to week 4.
Right. And I know it's hard. It's hard to, it's apples and oranges, obviously. And as Mike said, he corrected here, that the rush D is better than the Packers. Yeah, it is. It is comparing apples and oranges, but I'm trying to find the silver lining, right? I'm Captain Negativity over here. Or as I like to say, I try and be realistic, but most of the time by being realistic, I'm pretty much taking the negative and not going to find much positive here. I think that the Lions, they're not unbeatable. It's just going to be an uphill battle. And they've got a lot of weapons. Certainly, Amon-Ra St. Brown, so far, 237 yards receiving on the season, 4 touchdowns. He has as many touchdowns himself as the Browns do as a team?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That's really bad. Sam Laporta, their tight end, he's going to be big. And Jameson Williams, 21.8 yards per catch. And Aiden Hutchinson, as you mentioned, 2 sacks. And on the season, he forced a fumble on Derrick Henry late in the 4th quarter of that game on Monday night, and that was key. That was a key that set them up, that gave them an opportunity, and I believe at that point to go up 2 scores. Wait a second. You're right, Mike. Quit laughing at me, okay? You can wipe that smirk off your face. I know you enjoy the DMs when the Guardians stink or the Cavs stink or the Browns stink, but I know I'm not positive. I'm always negative E over here. So is there any possible way that you think the Browns can sneak out of Detroit with a win? You know, and what would that look like?
I mean, I think your offense has to play a complete game. I mean,
Okay.
your defense is going to be there and they're going to put up a fight, but you can't do anything if your offense isn't going to score. And like you can't keep banking on your defense to get turnovers, and you can't, you have to score. And we need, like, you have to score more than 10 points in a game. I mean, you really do. I mean, that's just the nature of it. And until we see our offense be productive, and until you see complete games of our offense be productive, I don't think you're going to be able to come away with a win. I mean, what happened Sunday is something that we can't explain. Like,
Right.
it's like the game against the Ravens last year
Yeah.
at home. I mean, that's a game that you scratch your head and go, all right, thanks for the win. Like, because it's just,
It
I don't
shouldn't
know.
happen.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have happened. And
Right. So, it's just, but they have to play better. I mean, I don't know what it seems like it's the same answer every week. It's the same. We got to watch the tape. We have to watch the film. Joe Flacco saying, "Hey, I got to," like, no, yeah, you got to play better. Like,
right.
what are we doing? And you can't, I get it, like, you lose your left tackle, but everyone loses a tackle every season. So you got to step up. I mean, there's not an excuse. You have 8 other weapons out there.
Right. I actually think that we've got some weapons on offense. If you look at okay, the wide receiver room is like a D plus or C minus, to be quite honest. But you have two very capable tight ends in Fannin and Njoku. You have you've got Quinshon Judkins, who appears to be a pretty good running back. It's an early small sample size, but he's looking pretty good. You have Dylan Sampson. Now, I think he had a great week 1, but he hasn't done much the past 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
they need to figure out how to use him properly. He is too small to be trying to try and run him between the tackles. And I think that was probably why he was available in the draft later in the mid rounds when he was. So he's got to do better. They've got to use him better. Get him outside. Get him some space. That's where I think he can be dangerous. If you can get Isaiah Bond involved in the game, that's going to be very helpful. Now, I'm not talking about these ridiculous jet sweeps and end arounds. I'm talking on he needs to get over the top. And as we talked about, in theory, on that flea flicker that Flacco goes short, I believe to Njoku, he had Bond. Bond can beat a defender. I feel like that's a huge key to success here, to unlocking things. Either you're going to unlock it with the run game, so they have to respect the run, and you can run the play action, or you need to go over the top and loosen the defense up a little bit so they can't crowd the line, and they're like, oh crap, we got to have some defenders back there to cover up for a deep shot. We know Joe can throw the ball. I don't think that's a question. The question is the mobility. There's a lot to work on. I guess that, like I would say this. I felt worse about last year's team than I did this year's team. Like, he can. Yeah, and it is that. Yeah, she did say that. He does a good job. He's quite the hole hitter over there. But what do you think? I mean, for as much as we're lamenting the offense here, I guess it's better than it was last year. That's not saying much, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more consistent than what it was last year, in a way of, like, who your quarterback is. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of, like, in and out last year, and that's
that's
just
what
the
she said.
nature of it. But I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I mean, we're still turning the ball over on offense. We're still, like he's throwing picks. Jameis Winston threw picks.
Oh,
Like,
that was
and even Watson threw picks. I mean,
it was
we're still
brutal.
turning the ball over. I mean, there's still like, it's so frustrating because it's like, what do we have to do to get 15 yards on a play?
Oh,
And then you watch these games, like there's a game on tonight, and like you're just like, other teams make it look so easy, and you're just like, why is it so hard when we watch on Sundays? Like, I mean, if we get a pass that's 8 yards, I'm yipping and hollering because I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Well, like, and then you run like a sweep on 2nd and 1, and you get a 5-yard loss, and you're just.
Right.
But I mean, it just seems it's so hard for us to move down the field, and it's always, and you're just, I wish I could pinpoint. I mean, I don't know. Is it the line? Is it the route running? Is it the I have no idea, and I would love to, like. I mean, I have like all this faith in Joe Flacco because of what we witnessed 2 years ago. And I mean, he threw like everything down. I mean,
Yeah,
he throws, and like we don't. I mean, like besides those weird plays down the sideline where they were like in double coverage, it's a strange offense, and it's a strange concept. I don't know if it's just there's no time for him to step up in the pocket and go, like, and to throw.
Yeah, last year what we found was, I think that especially in the early part of the season, in that offense that was just ridiculous, we not only saw it, the offensive line play wasn't great, but we also saw Watson screwing it up, like not taking the right drops and so on and so forth. It was no good. I don't feel like that's Flacco's issue, but I do wonder, and as we've discussed, if it's an issue of like, I don't have the wheels, I'm not mobile here, and like I don't trust the offensive line. I got to get rid of this ball.
Right.
And so it's a combination of things. And it feels like I saw a discussion or heard a discussion again about what the job security is of Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, right? And it's one of those things where they're starting to rebuild. The lack of draft picks high draft picks for 3 years really hurt.
Yeah.
The offensive line went from a strength to now a weakness. Well,
you have to think about it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But you had a younger line then, because that was 3 years ago. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You even go back to when Baker played, and you're like, that was our great line. And here we are, and you're like, Jesus, we have to find all new linemen now.
Right. And the pick of Zach Zinter.
I mean, that's
crazy. We need him. We need him to be to get going. He's got to be able to be on. He's not even on the active roster on game day. I mean, that seems like that is a huge swing and a miss. Hey, look, Luke Whippler, they're throwing him the ball on 1st and goal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't know. It's just I keep hoping that, like, I'm just like, I'm gonna watch today's game and they're gonna have their shit together. Like, sorry, I'm really allowed to swear. You're just like, like, and you're hoping that it clicks. I mean, the running game is it's right there. I mean, like, you saw it like when he broke that 32-yard run. And it's almost there, and we're on the cusp of that. But it's just like, what this whole receiver like thing it's so baffling to me.
It is.
Like, you trade for Jerry Jeudy, and he's not even
he's turned back into the Denver.
Yeah, to the Denver Judy.
Right. He turned
and that's scary because I know he's one of those guys that like he's a powder. Like when he doesn't get targets, I mean that one game, I think it was the one Browns game, like he was throwing his helmet and he's sitting there and like the coach is like telling him to get up and he's just like this. Like I mean like he's a guy that's kind of one of those where they're you get worried when he starts having these games because you're like, when is he going to implode?
Right. And is he going to become a cancer in the locker room? What's going to happen here? Yeah, it is one of those things you worry about. I think we've got a pretty decent locker room vibe going on. What did you think for the people that complain that Kevin Stefanski never says anything? He seemed to be pretty fired up after the game there on Sunday, as he should be with a win, dropping some F-bombs and everything. And I mean, that's good to see. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's good to see. I just wish you'd be a little more transparent with the fans and the public. That's all. I mean,
it in a way, he's a more likable Bill Belichick when it comes to answering questions. Would that be? I think I've heard that somewhere else, so I might be stealing that from somebody. But I think that's all accurate. Like Bill Belichick doesn't say anything. You ask him a question, and
but I don't think Kevin Stefanski's like an asshole like Bill Belichick.
He's a more likable version,
right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's just very. He's very like tight, like knit guy, and
he is, and I think, however, that works in his favor because he and Andrew Berry have been on the same page and kind of stick to that script, as opposed to them turning on each other. So that's a welcome change, I think, from what you see in other organizations or our front office of the past. You've seen some things. Couple other notes here. Apparently the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator for Detroit. Now, Detroit lost both its OC and its DC this offseason. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson both took head coaching jobs. So they have completely, had to revamp the staff there. But John Morton said something to the extent of the Browns' run defense. I don't think they've seen a running game like ours yet. Challenge accepted, Jim Schwartz. I'm like, all right, really? You did so great against the Packers there. Let's have it there. So Shedeur Sanders, Justin Cooper from ESPN Cleveland interviewed Shedeur today. And I'm going to try to, if I can here, I'm going to try and share this clip here. And just I thought it was interesting. It's a couple minutes, but let's take a look here. It's, lots of people in the background, the chatter. So let's see if I can pull this up and get this to work here. All right, so let's take a look here. We got Shedeur up. Let's hear what Shedeur had to say to ESPN Cleveland's Justin Cooper.
So Pops just recently went on the New Heights podcast, and he said he gave you advice to stay ready and said that your time is going to come, that he believes it's going to come shortly. So what is your reaction to saying that?
Just some, I focus on each and every day, what I got to do. And
So basically he's saying, Dad, shut up. What do you think, Meghan? Think he's just saying, Dad, shut up. I'm over here. Quit running your mouth? Or
yeah, I mean, I think he's been pretty vocal about just let me, do my thing.
Exactly. All right. Here we go. Let's continue.
Just because where I am on the depth chart, don't let that dictate, my mindset each and every day, because you don't know what happened or what could happen. So it's really, just keeping the mindset of just staying locked in, staying into everything, and remaining focused on the main thing.
Do you feel like you're kind of close to getting to where you want to be in terms of, getting a chance to play this game?
I don't think playing or not playing, is in my hands. So I don't think
So he acknowledges playing or not playing is not in his hands, or he says that, but isn't part of it in his hands? like you got to go out and prove it, right? And make it a tough call. You got to make it a very difficult decision for the coaches.
Yeah.
So,
But-
okay, I get what he's saying, but I'm just wondering. I'm throwing that out there for the sake of argument.
Okay.
I think based on the situation, it's if things happen, things pan out where I play, then I'll be out there and I'll be ready to play. I'm ready to play right now.
He had a great quote where he said, you don't learn anything. I've never sat on the bench and said, I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him on that? What are your thoughts when he said that?
Everybody perspective. So, that's not nothing, in my place to answer. That's nothing I can't not answer, but I know for sure I'm not I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
So how do you feel like you've been progressing so far? The reps that you have gotten.
Yeah, overall, I feel like I'm doing great. I'm doing what I need to do each and every day. Remaining focused, remaining mind on the complete mission. Not really get comfortable. I'm not comfortable being scout team player. Honestly, that's my situation. So I'm gonna make the best of it. And enjoy my moments. But overall, this isn't my end goal. Like I'm just enjoying myself, learning, doing everything I have to do, and just ready for my opportunity.
How frustrating can that be when you look around the league and you know you can play well? He's better than some of the other quarterbacks. Having to kind of sit in his case. How frustrating can that be? How do you kind of?
I know it's not the guy's playing right now. If that was a situation, it's obvious. A lot of teams will be playing me, but that's not in God's plan right now. And some things happen for a reason, and I'm a true believer in that. And whatever His plan for me is, I believe in it. So I don't get stressed or get or feel bad. That I'm in this situation I'm in right now. But it kind of, I would say, just make me. It's just funny to me. That's it. Everything is just funny to me, and I just enjoy it.
So that's the end of the interview there with Shador. But he essentially says, he's not. He acknowledges, and I think it's fair for him to say he's not pleased with where he is on the depth chart and where he's at and stuff like that. I think he remains humble. I don't mind him for as much as people were like, oh gosh, here comes the circus again. With him, I don't think he's been the circus.
No, I don't think so at all. I think, him keeping, his dad's separated from him, and he's kind of embraced this role of where he is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do? You were drafted in the
fifth round.
Yeah. Like, sorry, it is what it is. Like,
it is. And a lot of that came, and that was part of the bigger story of, we had heard something about Shador telling the Ravens that he's like, what am I going to do? Come there and back up Lamar for 10 years and not really being down with that or interested in that. And yes, Kevin would not. I don't know what's going on there at Chapel Hill. That's some weird stuff over there, Bridget. I appreciate that. But and the thing with Philadelphia, I could see kind of the same thing. He's like, what am I going to do? Sit behind Jalen Hurts? He obviously felt that coming to Cleveland was a good thing. So there's a lot of people out there who've talked a lot of smack about the Browns and Cleveland, but it seemed like he thought he had a good shot here. I don't know how much that oblique injury, just happened to come at the wrong time when he had momentum, but he is where he is now. How many teams do you think he could be starting for right now? Like 2?
Not many.
Maybe 1, maybe the Saints.
Maybe the Saints.
And have they turned it over to Shuck yet? I think they brought him in, but I don't know if they're going to put him in at starter. And the only other team that's going to a rookie. Cam Ward, but then in New York, as you referenced earlier, you alluded to, they are going to go to Jackson Dart, but the options are limited there. There really were very few. You're not seeing these. That quarterback class was not chocked full of Hall of Famers per se. Might get some people who are going to might make their way through and be pretty serviceable for a while. I have faith in him. And I think if he gets an opportunity, he could be all right.
Where did the kid from Alabama go?
The kid? Oh, he went to Seattle.
Okay.
I believe he went. Yeah, he went to Seattle and Milrow. That's a good question. I would think that it would actually go over well in Seattle tonight. Are they in Seattle? Because they have that neon green thing going on there, Bridget. I'm not sure about that. I think it does at least. It's at least some comic relief for the Browns and their fans. Okay, so we've got a tough one on Sunday. I'm predicting pain. I think we're just no good there. All right, now
can I say something that I really love about the Lions?
What's that?
I love when teams have fight songs.
Okay.
And the guy who sings the Lions fight song is just incredible. Incredible set of pipes on the guy.
Oh yeah, nice. It's not Eminem?
No.
All right, so you're a fan of like the
like I love like the Eagles song, the one that they used to play when the Commanders were the Redskins.
And they still play it. They made it Hail to
Yeah. And the Vikings have one.
All right. So okay, but you know what? That's kind of interesting, Megan, because our thing was the dog pound and the barking, right? And this song and this town and Cleveland has more songs than I think anybody. We may not have a fight song, but we've got more songs.
I don't know what you call them. To me, they're fight songs because it's always after like a score. But this guy comes on and he's just a fan, and they give him a mic. Yeah, like he's done it for like I don't know how many years. And my dad used to love this guy. Like he got like the biggest kick out of him. And like this guy, like they score a touchdown, and this guy stands up and he's like, "All right, Lions fans, what?" And he just starts singing this great song. It's hysterical to me.
That's awesome. I do like that. Now, how about the little kid who plays the guitar before the game for the Browns?
Whatever. Whatever.
Aww.
Good for you.
Oh, he's pretty good, right?
I mean, he's good, but like, all right, let's just score some touchdowns.
Okay, well, we could do that. Browns really stink. They're on the road to misery. Can't run the ball. We throw it into history. I'll make up some words there. We'll just have the official Dude Wipes mascot run out onto the field to clean up the mess, right?
Yep.
All right. So, Megan, I don't want to catch you off guard here, but is any aside from the Browns offense, do you have anything that has you going nuclear this week?
No, I really don't.
All right.
I'm flying high. Like
I like it.
Yeah.
I always have something that has me going nuclear. And this afternoon, what has me going nuclear is the PR department for the Cleveland Guardians. And it's really not just the Guardians. It's all of these franchises. You put out, like, your team is getting their butts kicked, and you're putting out things like, look at that guy's play. Oh, they got a touchdown. It's like, shut up. We stink. Oh, the Journey concert was pretty good. Yes, the Journey concert was good. So the Guardians this afternoon, they are locked up in this series with the Detroit Tigers. The magic number to win the division is 3 games. And thank you for tuning in, Dennis. Yes. Well, obviously, you're only talking to Megan because she's the amazing and beautiful person here. I prefer the Charlie Brown hat, or bag over my head type of look. Maybe the sheet with the holes in it. Thank you for tuning in. But they put out a thing about Playoff tickets are going on sale starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I don't care what MLB says about being ready and putting the information out there. You don't do that. I'm superstitious. You don't put that crap out there. You wait until the job is done, because right now we're down 4-2, bottom of the ninth. Tigers win here. We're back. We've got a tiebreaker over them, but we've each got 3 games left. They could win all 3. We got to win all 3. I'm sick of this crap. No, I will not be easy here, Bridget. No, I get a little angry. I do get a little, but the fact of all these PR departments and social media departments, that's just crazy, and that has me going nuclear. Okay, what isn't only oh, why? Thank you. Yes, or something. I don't know. So bad PR departments or overzealous social media accounts for the Guardians this afternoon and sports in general. That is what has me going nuclear. All right, I don't know what's going on here in the chat. Yeah, I'm losing control of this show rapidly here, Meghan. That's it. I'm losing it.
All right.
George is getting very upset. Well, it is getting late here.
I gotta go grocery shopping.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. You're gonna have to go to the 24-hour Walmart and deal with those. All right, sweet. Yeah, that'll be awesome. See, you know what it is, Meghan? Sorry, I think we need to bring Cleveland Brown to sing some. He should say, "My name is Cleveland Brown, and I am proud to be right back in my hometown with my new family, with old friends and new friends and even a bear, through good times and bad times, through 2 times share." So, if you remember the Cleveland Brown show, hell of a show. Gotta love Cleveland Brown living in Stool Bend, Virginia. So, Meghan, thank you again for coming in. Hopefully the Browns can not be make us suffer on Sunday, can resemble a team on offense. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and commented. Bridget, Dennis, Mike, Angel Ortiz from the Bearded Browns podcast. Make sure you go and give them a follow and a like, and a subscribe and a listen. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have fun with the grocery shopping, Meghan. Thank you so much for being here again.
Thanks for having me. It's good times.
Absolutely. We look forward to it all the time. So for Meghan Donovan, I'm Ethan Greenberg. You've been tuned in to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land, a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of Fans First Sports Network.